Welcome back to the Introduction to Teaching Private Lessons, Module 1. So now we are heading to Lesson 2, Transitioning from Performer to Teacher. Let's talk about shifting your focus from personal performance to student development. You must change your mindset if you want to become a music educator. The first thing to think about is a change in priorities. As a performer, the primary focus is on personal excellence, mastering repertoire, and delivering compelling performances. Transitioning to teaching requires a shift in priorities from personal achievement to fostering the growth and development of students. The goal is to help students build their skills and reach their potential, which involves understanding their individual needs and learning styles. Student centered approach. Teaching is fundamentally student centered, meaning the success of the students becomes the primary measure of achievement. This involves setting learning objectives that align with students' goals, providing tailored instruction for them, and continuously assessing their progress. The focus is on creating a supportive learning environment where students feel encouraged and motivated. The other part that you should shift your focus to is patience and empathy. Transitioning to teaching necessitates the developing of patience and empathy. Understanding that students will progress at different rates and face unique challenges is crucial. As a teacher, it's important to provide consistent support and encouragement, helping students overcome obstacles and celebrate their successes. Adapting performance skills to a teaching context. Technical expertise. Performers possess a level of technical skill and musical knowledge, which are invaluable in a teaching context. However, these skills need to be adapted to suit an educational setting. This involves breaking down complex techniques into simpler, more digestible steps and explaining them in a way that students can understand and replicate. Effective communication. As a performer, communication is often through the music itself. In teaching, verbal communication skills become paramount. This includes the ability to articulate concepts clearly, provide constructive feedback, and adapt explanations to suit different learning styles. Demonstrating techniques and using analogies or visual aids can also enhance understanding. Lesson planning and structure. Teaching requires structured lesson planning, just like your practice sessions do. Teachers need to create lesson plans that outline objectives, activities, and assessments for the lessons. These plans should be flexible enough to adapt to the needs of individual students while ensuring that key learning goals are met over time. Throughout all of these different modules, we're going to dive way deeper into all of these concepts. Balancing teaching with personal musical goals. The first one, time management. So, balancing teaching responsibilities with personal musical goals requires effective time management. This involves scheduling dedicated practice time, setting realistic performance goals, and ensuring that teaching duties do not overshadow personal musical development. Teachers must find a balance that allows them to continue growing as musicians while providing quality education to their students. The best thing that I can recommend for that when you're first starting out as a private lesson teacher is to not overload your schedule too intensely right at the beginning. So let's say you're teaching private lessons at your local middle school during school. Maybe start with just like 2 to 4 students total at a time. Don't overpower your schedule so quickly if you're trying to balance, a strong performing schedule as well as a teaching schedule. Integration of personal and professional growth. Teaching can enhance personal musicianship as explaining concepts and techniques often deepens the teacher's own understanding. Teachers can integrate their personal musical goals with their teaching practice by using their performances as learning opportunities for students, demonstrating techniques, and sharing their experiences. Every time I've ever taught a lesson, whenever I end up demonstrating or performing for my students, that's always the most exciting time for them. And it's also fun for me too. And I feel like I grow every time I do that as a cellist. Professional boundaries and self care. Maintaining professional boundaries and practicing self care are essential in balancing teaching and personal goals. It's important for teachers to set limits on their availability to students, allocate time for personal practice and relaxation, and avoid burnout. This ensures that they remain passionate about both teaching and performing and can provide the best possible experience for their students. So that goes back to not overloading your schedule right at the beginning when you're kind of new to teaching. So set those boundaries. Don't be afraid to set boundaries, and you'll be happier and healthier for it. Good job! We finished lesson 2 of module 1. So now head to lesson 3 to continue in this module.